Good morning, everybody. I've been going live recently and I'm starting to get itchy about it. I really wanted to bring some value to you today and tell you a story about myself, like totally vulnerable here, because I probably haven't shared it with anyone because it's been in my head. I started as a police officer in '01. It's been 15 years. '02. I'm sorry, '02. I was in the academy in '01. And was really into the job. Like, it was just everything to me. That's all I ever wanted to be. I aspired to be a detective. I worked really hard as a patrolman to learn everything, and I had some awesome guys I worked with who I actually still work with today, so very awesome to have that bond. And the guy I went to the academy with too, and when we were in the academy, we both said we wanted to be detectives. That was our goal eventually, because you can't just come out of the academy and be a detective. So with as I was entering my fourth year, they had an opening. So you apply by it's a mini resume, but you basically say why you're qualified and you tell them you're interested. And I learned that I was picked. So with 4 years on the job, I was the first female detective in my department, which was pretty amazing. Didn't even realize I was. I was just excited to go and do the detective thing, because I like talking to people, and I like being able to solve a case that was a little harder and took more time. So I like the challenge of it all. And within I had already been taking or testing for sergeant, because it's tested at our department, and I actually was second on the list with 4 years on, so that's crazy. So within 6 months, I actually was promoted to sergeant. So I was the second female sergeant ever in my department, which is awesome too. So I moved up, was promoted rather quickly with less than 5 years, right at 5 years on the job. I was promoted to sergeant. And when that happened, one of the administrators at the time, who no longer works there, had said to me, why don't you stay as a detective? That's your thing. You'd be better off there. You're smart and you can use your brain. He's like, as sergeant, you're not going to be, I don't think you're going to be a good sergeant. You shouldn't have been promoted. You don't have enough time on, and that really, when they told me that, he said that I wasn't going to be promoted, I actually took it to heart. And being a sergeant with only less than 5 years on, second female ever, that screwed with me. The minute he said that to me, I believed it. So for like the next 8+ years until recently, I have been struggling with the notion that I was never going to be a good sergeant. So I basically walked around scared for 8 years. Scared that anything I did, they were going to take my stripes away and I wasn't going to be sergeant anymore. So every decision was overthought. Every question that I was asked by my subordinates was overthought, and my mind was changed a million times, because I thought, oh, maybe this is what they want, and I wasn't doing it anymore from a point of knowing things. Everything I did was from a point of fear and the thought in my head that I wasn't good enough. For 8 years, I struggled with it. And then it started to boil over into other parts. Not only just work as a police officer, but at home. I was frustrated, and I kind of took it out on my family, not necessarily like abusively or anything like that, but the frustration, the short attention level, the wanting to tune out of things, not wanting to listen, it all started culminating because of this one sentence that was said to me 8 years ago. And this is kind of where some people have been put in this rut by believing something that someone said to them. And recently, beginning or middle of May, I went to this 3-day course that I actually signed up on my own to go to, because I was tired, and I really wanted to change. I just didn't know what was wrong, because I didn't know that. I didn't remember this at the time. that this is what was holding me back for 8 years and making me a scared, overthinking, doubting, not confident person. And I went to this course, and they started bringing up things of, basically got to whatever the class entailed. It came to a point where I tried to figure out what was holding you back, because it's basically some script in your head that you've been running over and believing, and ultimately that whole story I just told you popped in my head. So what I did about it is realize that is just words. Legitimately, the reason I believed it is because I told that story over and over again every day in my head to myself, and it made me believe it every day. So I don't know what stories you're telling in your head, but understand they're just words, and there's no emotion or belief in it until you tell the story. And when you tell the story, then it becomes real, and then you add emotion, and then you can either believe it or not believe it. You believe it. It is what it is. He said what he said what he didn't say. It's over now, and in the absence of the story, it means nothing. I've learned that, and I say that to myself, and I learned that in that course. And it's basically, the minute I realized this, it was like I was free. Like, I'm free from that now. I am so free from that, and it's an amazing feeling. And I know there are a lot of people out there that are struggling because of something, and you got to go way back, or maybe you can just look at something that happened recently. They're struggling with something someone said, someone did, or you're telling yourself, and it's completely holding you back from being whatever it is you want to be. And honestly, the feeling of being free. Like, I can go to work now, and I talked to one of my partners that I've worked with on and off for 15 years, and I told him, I'm sorry I haven't been around mentally. I held myself back, and I was believing something somebody told me, which wasn't even true. But I can tell you now, the value met 15 years ago is the value you know now. And I don't blame anybody or anything. I blame myself for believing that. That was me. So I don't know what's holding you guys back, but you need to figure out what it is and understand it's a story you're telling yourself, and when you drop the story, you can be free. Nothing anyone can say to you can hurt you if you know they're just words. The only time it's given emotion and meaning is when you put a story on it. Otherwise, it's just words. So you don't have to believe everything people tell you. You don't even have to, I mean, you can listen, but you don't have to believe it, and you don't have to retell that story. Don't retell it. It's just words, and that's it. And I hope this can get other people, even like in law enforcement, if you're held back by somebody said to you, or even personally, or even in career, even in relationships. The way you speak to somebody comes back to you. So always understand that. And if you come from a place of understanding and caring, you're going to get the same thing back. It's almost guaranteed. And if you don't, oh well, move on. To understand the people that what you get back in your relationship with your husband, if you give love and you come from a place of understanding and you want to talk and to them, you're going to get the same thing back. But you have to figure out where the issue came from, and then have a deep discussion on where it's going to go. Honestly, this is a tool that I will carry. It's priceless. It's a tool I'll carry with me the rest of my life, and I really want to help others understand that and move past. Anything. And there are some serious things that have happened to some people. You can get over it. You got to start to address the problem itself and understand the matter. And some things are terrible, and I understand that maybe they're unforgivable, but in your head, in order for you to get over it, you need to understand it's just a story. And it's just something somebody said. And once you put a story on it, it has meaning and it becomes real in the situation, whatever you label it as, or as the person said. Because once you retell the story, it's like telephone, it gets a little different, right? Once you retell the story, that's ingrained. So don't, which is another thing with gossip, by the way. Don't do it. But I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions about the class I went to, or any other things that I can help you out with, just leave something in the comments. I'll do a blog later on so you guys can rewatch this. But that's what I want to tell you. What's been holding me back for 8 years, like legitimately, after I went to that class and I came back to work, I was like a new person. I didn't have that heaviness on me anymore, and I could just react and talk to people and not have to think in the back of my head this story, and not have to worry what other people thought of me. And it's like it's a confidence booster that like you don't even know. I can just be who I am, and it's free. So I want you guys all to know that, yeah, this can happen for anybody. It's nothing miraculous that happened to me. It's a thought pattern. So I hope you enjoyed this live. If you have any comments, or even if you want to message me, if you don't want to leave a comment publicly, message me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't listen to what people are telling you if you don't want to believe it and it's not part of who you are. Don't make it a story. Don't gossip. Don't make it a story. It's just words. They said what they said. They did what they did. They did what they didn't do. It's over now, and in the absence of the story, it means nothing. And it does truly. So I hope you can use that and make a day today awesome. Remember, discover your power.